guys, my name is Lace. I'm a content creator. I love talking. I get paid for it now under the ALGS. So I'm surprised I haven't been bashed in the car park because I play Apex Legends and this obviously is a CS2 event. But that's fine. 3 p.m. Meet me out there. I'll tell you which sport is a lot better. But I've been doing content creation probably for the last 7 years now, and it has been absolutely the best thing I've ever done. Now, I said I wasn't going to say this but I don't see any children in the crowd, so it's fine. I started, playing video games when I used to sign myself out of school using a fake doctor's note and my mum's signature to go home and play Modern Warfare 2. Yes, I used like the sniper suit. I did noob shoot. I would 5-meter knife you from Narnia. But that's kind of how I started. So obviously getting into content creation was quite exciting for me because I loved gaming from the beginning. And I actually didn't know streaming existed or that you could create content and put it online until I was probably about 25. No, I'm not 25 now, guys. I'm a little bit older than that. But I, got into it, loved it, and found a game called Apex Legends, which then ultimately gave my love to head into broadcasting. So I actually am a host and interviewer. I started my first actual major event was Esports World Cup held in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. I did interviewing there with a lot of the biggest talent, and I think it just blossomed from there. Then I went under the ALGS, so I just came back from Japan. They had their championship series, in which you probably saw a lot of the videos where I was blonde. But that's a little bit about myself. I mean, it's been such a ride, and it's still kind of continuing from now. But if you guys are looking to get into content creation, or if you're a streamer now, and I guess you don't really know where to go because it's an influx of streamers coming through, it's saturated. Let's be real. It's so hard to find your way in this industry. But who the hell wants to go to university? Who wants to go and pay money to learn more? I didn't, as you can tell by some of my English. But this is a little bit of a run through about what I use, what I do, to progress through this kind of thing. Click. Oh, that's a blonde me. That's fine. We'll move on from there. But this is my setup. I love Dragon Ball Z, by the way, guys. So you're going to see a lot of that sort of stuff in the background. My bad. Vegeta all the way, by the way. Goku's an idiot. Anyway, so what I use... it didn't start this way. I started on a PlayStation 4 with a PS4 camera, and I sat on my couch and I read chat from my phone with the crappiest PS4 camera, right? And if you want to get into content creation, my first thing that you should put your money into is a goddamn CPU. Shout out Intel, because you are going to have so much things plugged into a PC. And what the hell are you going to be able to do if you don't have a CPU that's going to be able to run all that sort of stuff? So ultimately, get yourself an Intel CPU. All right, first things first. You want to make sure that you have good quality microphone, okay? When you're streaming and doing content creation, it's all about your voice, your personality, and they want to be able to make sure that they can hear everything you're saying and not get annoyed by clipping, cutting, and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you get a good mic. And I mean, there's plenty of things out there now where you can have a great microphone for that, but that is my first purchase that I got, was a microphone, because you're going to be talking. Whether you do VTubing and they don't see your face, it's still going to be your voice. Your voice is the number one thing behind content creation. And of course, if you wanted to get into broadcasting, commentating tournaments, anything like that, yap, I don't know what you guys want to do, but microphone is the first thing that you can get. The second thing that I actually invested in was a really good camera. I actually used the Sony a6000. I set up with a DSLR. So basically, you have to have a dummy battery connected to a proper camera into your PC, and that's a hell of a lot of cables. So what do you need? Good CPU. Thank you, Intel. So you set yourself up with one of those. I also use a teleprompter. If you can see this thing here with the other Vegeta on it. Now, a teleprompter is great for content creation, because who the hell wants to remember a script? You want to sit there and you want to make a video. You're probably not great at talking on the flow. Get a teleprompter if you can. They were my 3 fundamentals that I absolutely loved that I got. Of course, a monitor. You've got to see what you'd be able to do there. But everything's kind of basic. I have a stream deck, so you can push buttons on the fly. I think every content creator kind of got one of those. which made it seamless to be able to integrate stuff and change scenes into your channel. You kind of want to make it your own production. You're basically your own producer when you do content creation. And you want to showcase your personality through that. So you don't want to like waste time trying to just move to the next screen. You want to get it done so you can be the star of your own show. Yeah, there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z there, guys. Sorry, I'm a bit of a nerd there. Anyway, okay, I haven't bought anything in ages, but I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about my backdrop, not because I'm a nerd, but it's a conversation starter. So when you guys are streaming, you might not be streaming to many people. You might not have a lot of people come in. But if they look in your background and see something that they can relate to, it's a nice conversation starter. The amount of times people come into my stream, they're like, DBZ! And then you can have that conversation. It's a natural flow to be able to keep them in your stream, keep them coming back because you guys have some sort of connection. Because I understand it can be really upsetting when you just don't have much to talk about. So if you have cool things in your backdrop, I don't care what you want to put in there. Your favorite plushie, sit your dog in the background, dog cam, I don't care. Just something that's going to have a nice conversation starter for you, and it's going to help you through your content creation journey very easily. And of course, I'm an FPS gamer, so I have everything light, everything quick, everything fast. I am actually partnered with Asus ROG. So, I have all the best stuff from them, which has been fantastic working with these sorts of brands because I absolutely love tech. And like I said, when you get brand new tech, when you get brand new things, you need to flow it all back to your CPU, okay? So what do we say? First thing, Intel CPU for your content creation. And I just love RGB, so it's kind of spewing RGB at the moment, but that's fine. It's not about the color. It's not about that. But essentially, that's content creation for you guys. Now, if anyone actually has some questions, I am also a part of the ALGS. I'm a broadcaster, so I love yapping. I love conversation. Everything's on the fly, on the flow. If anyone has like any kind of dreams or aspirations to get themselves into the broadcasting side, because everyone wants to, I guess, go into esports. We love watching esports. Sitting in the crowd at CS, I absolutely adore the energy, but you could be on that stage. So if you guys sort of have any questions in relation to that, I can answer it. We had a panel by women in esports the other day, and essentially they spoke about, what's the kind of way that you can get into esports? Because when I first started, I had no idea. I started commentating my own community event games. I was freaking terrible too. I was awful. Like, I would just say, ladies and gentlemen, like there was lots of ums and ahs. So, getting into that sort of industry from content creation is a little bit iffy, but if you guys like ever have that aspiration to do that, I guess you can ask me in that sort of sense. But my content creation journey has been ups and downs. I thought about quitting. Then I'm glad I didn't because, I get to fly around the world now, kind of telling my story and being able to be, an Australian woman in esports, which is pretty freaking awesome. So, if you guys got any questions for me, fire away. All right, I'll start with a question then, Lace. My first question is, what's the most challenging thing of setting up a broadcast from a technical standpoint? Look, when you set up a broadcast, you're going to be using like a lot of different screens. So when I'm sitting there and doing an online broadcast, I have like infinite Chrome tabs up. Yeah, I know Chrome's not great, but I have so many tabs because you need so many different stats, player stats, the map, the game. You also need to have, I guess you go actually into the game and you observe yourself. You have to have your camera plugged into that, your keyboard, everything. So essentially, it's... You really need to have that hardware to be able to run all that sort of stuff. And I know I'm making jokes back to Intel, but I'm not kidding when I say you really do need a great CPU to be able to handle all that influx of not only plugins, but applications and stuff that you are using when you do broadcasting. Anybody else questions for Lace at all? I'll jump in and ask more questions because I can ask questions all day. We've got questions here at the front.
So how old were you when you started streaming, and what did you start streaming? What was my first game? It was Fortnite, I think.
I was pretty late into the streaming world. I worked for EB Games for 13 years, so I was kind of like in gaming. I mean, that's retail, but I was in gaming. But I didn't actually know what streaming was until a friend showed me a Twitch live stream. We became a dual stream, so I kind of piggybacked off her success in a way. And we had like a whole dual stream set up. If you think my setup looks complex, you wait till you have two of everything, and then you have to simultaneously have that work together. So I was very privileged to be able to understand the technology early on when I started streaming, and now it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I started in Fortnite. Then I found Apex Legends, and then it's a toxic relationship with that game now, so I just haven't left it. But yeah, I was a Fortnite gamer.
Anybody else? Any questions? Hands up.
We got one over here. Yep. What's your question?
What's the favorite thing about streaming that made you keep on going with it?
As you can tell, I love talking. You know, I could talk to myself in a sense, but I feel like it's the connection with people. I know I just said I worked in retail, and, you know, a lot of us do. It's not an exciting job as per se, but having that interaction with people about something that you love and adore, which is gaming, I just couldn't get away from it. And my sister is a civil engineer, so imagine telling my mum that I wanted to be a gamer. She compared to like my smart sister, she was like, Lace, I don't know what it is as long as you're happy, but now she kind of sees me flying overseas, doing this sort of stuff. Like it is a real, and yeah, I just couldn't ever give it up, I think. You will find me in a cardboard box before I gave up streaming, or on Seno or something, yeah.
Any other questions we've got here for Lace before I jump in once again? All right, my question, Lace. What are some tips you can give some people about preparing for a big broadcast?
Vocal warm-ups. Sounds silly, but when you have to strain your voice or non-stop talk, you have to do vocal warm-ups similar to what singers do. Otherwise, you'll get that raspiness voice. Have your chamomile tea, have your diff lamb on standby. But I actually sit here and I no joke, do this. And I start making weird noises because you do have to look after your voice when you do a broadcast. So usually, you know, a big event broadcast can go for 14 hours. Not that I'm talking for 14 hours straight, but 14 hours, an entire day of just using my voice is strenuous. If I do like a stream online or something like that, you know, they relatively go for 7 hours. But if you guys sat there and talked for 7 hours straight, it hurts. It really does. So you need to look after your voice quite well, which, yeah, I do vocal warm-ups such as a singer. I can't sing, don't ask me to, but that's the kind of thing that you have to do.
Any other questions? Oh, we got another question over here. Yep. What is your question?
Sorry to hit you with all the questions. How did you manage to get rid of ums, ahs, and ers in your sentences? Because sometimes I find myself saying them a lot, and I've tried to practice, and I don't know if you had any tips to trying to get rid of those from your vocabulary.
Yeah, and we're Australian, and we already shorten things, right? So we don't have a nice full sentence of good English, right? We're Aussie, yeah, how's it going? Thanks, mate. Yeah, good, thanks. Like, we're very fast talkers, so we fill in those spaces with you'll see casters do it that have been doing it for 15 years. I've only been doing this for like 1.5, 2 years, so I still have ums and ahs. Slow down your talking. Think about what you're going to say next. Make sure that you have some sort of seamless conversation that flows through. You know, the thing is that you need to think about what you want to say next and then say it. And it's a difficult thing. See, I just said there. Like it's not something that you're going to give up lightly, but slowing it down does help. Good question, though. It's hard. I'll tell you when I figure it out properly, though.
Any other questions from anyone in the audience? No? All right, I've got a question for you. What is your favorite program to use when you're streaming or broadcasting? Or what are your favorite programs, plural? Do you have any that you'd recommend to us?
Yeah, so we're talking about editing software, and obviously with the prolonging AI coming around, I use a program called CapCut. You guys might have heard about it. So if you guys want to have content, get it out quickly. You have the devil's thing, which are subtitles. Back in the day, you would have to listen and type out every subtitle. CapCut literally uses AI technology now that creates the subtitle for you, flows it in nicely. Yeah, it might pick up some words a little bit stupid because we're Australian, they don't understand our English, but it is something that I use for content creation because you want to be able to do it quickly, on top of all the other things you're doing in content creation, right? Streaming, all that sort of stuff, working, going to university, whatever school. So you need it to be fast-paced, but obviously flow nicely, and you need to get content out there. If you want to be a content creator, you can't just stream. You need to grab people from other places into your channel, which means getting that content out there. So using something like CapCut, really simple. Again, it actually analyzes your PC, your CPU, your hardware to then influx how fast it can process a video for you. So I have the best CPU, thanks Intel, and it's fast. So I will literally have the video done, I will subtitle it, make sure I haven't made any mistakes, and then it processes really quickly and it's already on my drive ready to just post. So that's a great program that I love. Besides OBS and all that, you guys know about that sort of stuff. But that's something I would download right away if you want to start creating content. You don't even need to be a streamer. Just put it out there. Get it started.
Any other questions? I think we've got time for one or two more.
Any questions at all for Lace here? She's a wonderful wealth of knowledge.
Why did I change my hair color? How many dogs do I have? Anything? No.
You got another one? Yep.
How do you stop using games in a negative way? Let's say you've had a stressful day and you use games as a way to avoid facing your feelings. Is there something that you do to try and make sure that you're not using games in a negative way, so you're positive about it and it could be something that's enjoyed as an activity, not an escape?
That's a very beautiful question because, when you've been a content creator as long as I have, it actually just becomes a tool for your job. And I can't remember the last time I played a game just for me. I've been playing games for my community or for content, and I forgot about the nice escape version, and we all obviously have difficult times without this world, and that's why a lot of us play games, is because we just don't want to deal with the outside world. But you need to make time for yourself, and don't be afraid to play a game just for you in the content creative space. And if it is an escape, who cares? Like, whatever you need to do to get by, to get through another day, thank God for gaming. Like, I absolutely love it. I know that a lot of people need stimulants for their brain as well, so watching a movie just doesn't cut it. That's why we play games, is because you get the best of both worlds, like an interactive movie, stimulates your brain. I love puzzle games because it keeps me active and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, don't be afraid to do that. But make sure if you're in content creation, have a game just for you. I play Schedule 1 for me, okay? Not for stream, all right? No messing around.
Any more questions we've got here for Lace? I've got one that's floating around in my brain. So quick question. What's something that you wish you knew about content creation before you started that you can tell other people before they start?
Building a social media presence outside of Twitch. Yeah. Like I said, no one's going to see your Twitch channel if you do not have every social media to bring someone in. Twitch sucks. I mean, we all know the algorithm does not push you to the top. So how do you get people to see your stream is you have X. I was going to call it Twitter. I should have done that. Instagram, you post the reels. Like today, if you're here and you're like, you know what, I want to be a content creator, go around, film stuff, make a funny video, download TikTok, post it there. That's your start of your journey. That's something that you need to do. Don't be afraid to go and have a conversation with someone. At the end of the day, we're all nerds. We all have a nice conversation together. Like it's absolutely fine to be able to create content here and then start your journey from now if you want to get into that sort of stuff. But don't go directly to a platform. Build it first to bring people to that platform.
Any last questions from anyone in the audience? All right, if no one has any more questions, I think we'll wrap up here, Lace. Are you around for much longer if anybody wants to have any one-on-ones?
Oh, we want to verse me one-on-one?
Yeah. I mean, if you're busy, then...
I suck at CS. I'm an Apex gamer. Like, I'm trash.
I was
But
more
yeah,
meaning
sure, I'll verse you.
one-on-one conversations, but, if you want to 1v1 them in game, that works too, I guess.
If we can download Apex, I'll flog y'all. Like, no, look, I'll be around, traveling around. I actually have a Bop It, and if you're my age, you know what Bop It is. But come and do a video with me. You want to start content creation? Come see me. We'll do a Bop It video. I'll put you in my video. I'll post you on my channel. I'll tag you. I don't care. I'm all about helping people because I understand it could be a scary world, and it's about community, and that's the first and foremost thing. So yeah, if you catch me around, come see me. We'll start a video together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lace. Round of applause for Lace here. Wonderful wealth of experience that comes to Apex and content creation.